We're here. We're too tired. We didn't know how to figure out the machine.
Every time.
And we've been here several times.
Hello, okay, so we are in Vancouver. This is an annual trip that we do every year, and we typically like to go specifically to taste all the new drinks and cocktail bars, restaurants that we have built on a list throughout the year. We don't get to make it to absolutely everything, but we do hit the key ones that we can possibly make. We started out our first night here. We stayed at a hotel that was right off of Robson, so we had a cute little balcony and we got some takeout. What did we get? We got sushi from a place called Hello Nori. Okay, so we ate some sushi and we also got some soup, which was definitely needed, some salt and some water. But we got to the hotel probably around midnight, I want to say. So we were a little bit like all over the map with the time change, and we just had come off of daylight savings. So we were all over the place. The next day we ended up waking up semi-early. We weren't in too big of a rush, but we headed down to Revolver and we had a few coffees, some pastry-like things, and then we headed to a ring fitting, which was one of the reasons why we kind of went down to this area as well. We are looking for wedding bands for me for next year. So we did a fitting and found a winner, which was really nice. So to be revealed later. Then we headed to Nelson the Seagull, which is like this bakery slash like really good, I don't know, all around eats, I would say. They did a lot of toast-like things. I had eggs on toast and Dylan had some like jam with peanut butter or something on it. It looked amazing. We took local transit just about everywhere and headed to various breweries or restaurants that we wanted to go to. We stopped at 33 Acres, a classic Vancouver staple for us, grabbed some ice cream, and then, kind of hung out around town until we needed to get to a reservation at 6. Our reservation was for the Kiefer Bar, which was a place we stumbled into last year by chance. So we went back there just for pure nostalgia. It was so delicious. When we got out of the restaurant, it was like peak hour for the most rain, so running to the bus stop that night was pretty funny. The next morning, we headed to Nemesis to grab some breakfast and some tea before we headed out to all of our various other activities, but it was probably one of the most memorable meals, I would say, that we had that weekend. We headed to Prototype to try out a bunch of delicious brews, and we sat next to a lovely gentleman who also shared his excess coffee with us, which was awesome, so we got to try out a bunch more. From there, we headed to Strathcona, which is right next door, so we had a few beers after our upper and then played a couple rounds of cards before heading to Superflux, which is my absolute favorite brewery of all time. We were there for a few hours, had some hot dogs, and then we jetted over to a couple other cocktail bars that we had heard of but never been to. So this was kind of a secret place. The entrance isn't labeled, so we got the rundown, what the rules were essentially, or etiquette of being in the bar was, and then got to head in and had some delicious drinks. On our way out, they asked where we were headed to, and they gave us a special chip. We didn't know what it did until we got there, but we ended up at this dumpling place, and there was a secret word to kind of get in. It ended up being another cocktail bar hidden in the back. So we were there for a few hours too. It was amazing. Next day, we grabbed some waffles from one of our favorite places and then headed to the airport shortly afterwards. It was very, very quick. When we got home, we grabbed some Wendy's. It was just life back to normal. That was kind of it. It was a super fast trip. In that short period of time, Dylan and I actually both caught colds. I ended up catching something a little bit more severe. Dylan was sick for like 3 or 4 days after, and I was sick for like a week and a half. But overall, it was a really good trip. We do end up going back the first week of January, and it was the initial reason why this trip was supposed to exist anyway. We initially booked a comedy show that is happening out in Vancouver, and this person isn't coming to Edmonton at all. So they initially were supposed to be this weekend that we went on this trip, and it canceled and it moved to the first week of January. So we're also headed back again in January, which is a great way to start the new year, a fresh trip. This trip was definitely filled with a lot of treats. We spoiled ourselves like to the max, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.